Hello, you lovely people, and welcome to the Power Within podcast. My name is Myra, and I'm going to be your host for the day. Are you excited? I am so excited. Today's topic is self-love. So you tuned in to a very lovely episode where we discuss what it really means to be loving to yourself and why that's important. So let's go ahead and get started. So, real quick, let's recap on last week's episode. Do you remember what your goal was? That's right. It was to sit down, take some time, and open your journal and write down your truly authentic self, and then to write down some adjectives or things that you noticed about yourself from that. So good news, I also did it, and I did that this week, and I was actually really inspired. I realized that I want to become a mom, along with being a yoga instructor and a health coach and all that stuff. But I didn't think I want to be a mom per se. I mean, obviously I do want to be a mom one day, but the desire that I had to have little children that I get to take care of was a lot stronger. And I don't know, I didn't realize that about myself, and I'm really happy. I'm actually really excited for the day that I get to be a mom. I think it's going to be a good time. Anyways, how did it work out for you? I'd love to hear your comments. And for those of you who are brave enough, feel free to just put a comment in Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to this. If you're not, then feel free to give me a message, a DM at Instagram at mylifemyway017. That's MYWAYMYLIFE017. Holy cow, try saying that 10 times fast. That was hard to spell out. But send me a DM and let me know how it goes. You may have realized that you don't want to be a mom, and that's okay. I'm not saying that everyone has to be the same, but I hope that by doing that little goal, that little tiny challenge, that you're able to see how authentic you are and where you want your life to go. Because remember, we're only as good as who we are. Wait, did that make sense? The point is, authenticity is important and powerful, but we need to know what is part of our authenticity in order to grow. Anyways, let's go ahead and go into our Power in Practice segment. Check this out. Power in Practice. Yeah, that's right. I'm getting fancy. We're adding new stuff in here. We are growing, which is exactly what I want. So this is a new segment that I've started called Power in Practice, where I should hopefully show you that I'm not just all talk, but that I sincerely look for ways to, apply the topic in my life. As I started doing that this week, I realized that this podcast could be a way for me to help others, but honestly, it's a really good way to help me focus on things I need to learn on and focus and grow on. This week for my Power in Practice, I really focused on self-love and how I practice it in my daily life, what it's meant to me, how I've accomplished it, etc., etc. And I've really enjoyed paying attention to that. My favorite thing that I have was this idea that you really show yourself, you love yourself by how disciplined you are. It's really funny. So I have ADHD, right? And I think lately I've been using it as an excuse for a lot of things. I tend to be more impulsive than normal. I've been losing things all the time, to the point where I think I seriously need mental help. And I've been trying to use medications or exercise or something, but I realized if I just had the discipline, that maybe I would be able to discipline my ADHD, have control over my ADHD. I don't know, I just thought that was really cool. But true self-love comes with eating healthy and going to the gym, taking care of yourself, cleaning your room. When you do things in your life to make your life better, it shows yourself all the time of how much you love yourself. And you can have a pretty good idea with what your self-love is doing and where your self-love is at based on how clean everything is. And that's not to say that you have to be super picture perfect clean, but when you willingly do it without the feeling of being perfect, but when you willingly just clean your kitchen or do your dishes or, regularly take showers or regularly clean your room, it just shows how much you really love and care for yourself. Because if you really love something, you take care of it, right? All right, anyway, that was my little power in practice that I want to give you guys. All right, well, let's get into it. I want to start with some questions that I could get our juices flowing a little bit about self-love. So I'm going to ask these questions, and they're not necessarily to prove if you have self-love or not, but maybe just think to yourself, like, do I do some of these things? And is that a good thing, or is that a bad thing? Or maybe it's just a neutral thing, but listen and ponder them. So the first one, I regularly take time to exercise. Number 2, I regularly take care of my hygiene, such as showering or doing my laundry. Number 3, I typically only apologize if someone has expressed to me that I have harmed them in some way. 4, I treat those around me with love and respect. 5, I enjoy doing things myself, such as going to the movies or going shopping. Number 6, I regularly set goals for the future. Number 7, I only compare myself to my past self. And number 8, I talk to myself with love and respect. 9, I set boundaries with myself and others. 10, I am optimistic about my future. How'd you do? Again, this is not a test to say, oh my gosh, she loves herself so much versus not, and it's not a test meant to shame. I guess it's a test meant to awaken you to your self-love. I remember there was a time in my life where I thought I had all the self-love. Actually, you guys ready for a story? So I served an LDS mission, a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint mission, back in 2018, and I came back during 2020. There were some things that happened on my mission that really hurt me, and I had a really, really hard time. And so when I came back, I was full of anxiety and depression, and it was really rough. I ended up going to a therapist, and my therapist was so interesting. I like to think that every therapist you go to is a stepping block to you becoming better. So maybe the therapist you're going to currently isn't the therapist that you'll be with forever, but they're able to take you another step on this journey to becoming more wholehearted and more, self-reliant and such. And this was that therapist. So here's what he would do. He would sit me in a chair, and he would hook wires up to my head, called neurotherapy. It was to help calm down my ADHD. But then he would do actual therapy, or talk therapy, I guess you could say it. He told me to close my eyes, so I would, and then I'd picture a woman, or just picture somebody, and this woman was just how I pictured her. Like, he was very open on that. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I do know that he had me picture this woman, and I pictured the setting of a beach, and this woman walking along the beach, and she was gorgeous. She had beautiful blonde hair. I guess I'm into blondes. Who knew? She had beautiful blonde hair. She had a beautiful dress on, just like, a very light, flowy dress, because we were walking along the beach. Flawless skin. And she just looked beautiful and wonderful. She looked happy. And she almost looked a little playful. And I was really, really happy just looking at her. After a minute, I realized that she was me. She was a part of me. But then here's what happened. My therapist then said to look closer and to notice the scars on her. And as I did, this tall, beautiful woman crumpled into this wounded soldier that was coming back from war. I mean, she had the tarnished, breastplates and the helmet and stuff. She was crouched over. She was bleeding. This beautiful girl just crumpled. And then he told me to pick out one scar that I saw on her, just one, which is funny because I saw a million, and to picture myself going up to her and touching that scar, and then just loving it. Just loving it in general. I thought he was crazy. No, I didn't actually think he was crazy. I was willing to try it because I feel like in therapy you do need to have a sense of willing. But I touched the wound, and I let it feel. I tried to feel as much love as I could. And he was trying to help me. He would tell me things that were very lovely, different adjectives of love, and try to get me to feel the power of love. And the idea was that you'd use that love, it would go on that wound, and then would heal the wound. He used self-love to heal the wound. But guess what? It didn't work on me. I know, I tricked him into thinking it was. I tricked myself into thinking it worked. But in reality, it didn't. It didn't work at all. And yeah, I don't know, it was a tender moment. But he was a therapist who believed that if you just loved something, love could solve anything. So if I just have self-love, if I just love myself, all my problems will be solved. Do you believe that? Do you believe that if you are just to love yourself, that all your problems are gone? Or, giving a little bit of leeway, even 95% of your issues would be gone? It took me a long time before I was finally able to love myself. And I can confidently say right now that I do love myself. And if I were to do his therapy again, I feel like I'd be able to actually heal my wounds. I mean, I have. I did it with a different therapist, but that's a story for another time. But even then, my therapist now also talks about love. How when we show ourselves love, it heals us. And love can be shown in different ways. For her, it was compassion. For others, it's time. Love, to me, is an action word. If we love something, what do we do? Think about, right now, think about someone that you love. Think about, it could be a person, it could be a video game, it could be a favorite food. When you really love something, how do you treat it? With kindness, right? You take care of it. Let's pretend that you love a bowling ball, okay? And this bowling ball is your prized possession. When you buy that bowling ball, you're not just gonna let it sit in the attic gathering dust. You're gonna polish it. You're gonna put it on display for everyone to see. You're gonna use it. You know that's what it means to love. Now think about yourself as if you're a bowling ball. If you were a bowling ball, how often do you leave yourself in the attic or in the basement? How often do you shrug it off, being like, oh, it's okay, other people's needs come before me? Why do we do that to ourselves? Maybe it's because in our society we believe that there's something to be said about being selfless. But I don't think we should be selfless. But being selfless sometimes gets the idea that we don't have to take care of ourselves, that we aren't important at all, that other people matter to us, matter more than us, and all of a sudden we are just as a mat that people can step all over. But when we're self-full, meaning we have our self-love and the confidence to keep going, we're able to take care of others a lot better. I had a friend, and it's actually funny, I texted him for this quote because I thought it was so good. I heard him say it one day, and I was like, I need to put that quote in a book. But he says this, he compares it to a cup. And how lots of times when that cup is overflowing, actually it's never overflowing. We love to picture a cup and give from the depletion of that cup rather than the overflow. Actually, he said it far better. I didn't even text it to me, and I even messed it up. But think about that for a second. We tend to give from the depletion instead of the overflow. Let's say that all week you ate 3 good meals every day. I mean, meals with good protein, vegetables, healthy stuff that made you feel better. You exercised for an entire week. You had your room clean. You were doing well at work. You had enough socialness. You had personal time. You took care of yourself so much and so well. In fact, that week turned out to be a really good week for you. How much more are you willing to help others than you were beforehand? My bet is that it's a lot, because that's what we do. When we are healthy and happy and full of love, we're able to give that love to others, which is why I talk about being self-full. I'm not trying to talk about being selfish. This isn't pride things. This isn't saying, hey, I'm more important than you. It's saying, I am a person, and if I don't love myself, it's going to be a lot harder for me to love you. Now notice how I said a lot harder, not impossible. Obviously, there are people among us who don't take care of ourselves, but we're willing to take care of others every single day. And you are very kind, and I love you so much. But honey bunches, how much better could you take care of someone else if you took care of yourself first? I dare you to try it. I dare you to try and improve yourself in some way. Also, just taking a side tangent, I wanted to take this time and mention the difference between self-care days and self-waste days. I believe in self-care days. I do think there are days where you need a break. You need to watch your favorite TV show for a while. You need to eat your favorite snack. You need to take your bubble bath. You need to have a day that's just meant for you. But I also want to caution a warning. Because how often do we say, oh, I'm taking a self-care day? And we do that like 6 days in a row. How often do we say, oh, I'm just going to eat this cookie because it's good and I deserve it, even though I also had cookies the past 7 days in a row? Now, I'm not shaming. This is not a shaming podcast. This is not a shaming moment. What I am saying is, when you think about self-care, maybe stop thinking about what the little toddler inside you wants, and start thinking about what your body actually needs. Maybe in your self-care days, you take care of yourself by going on a nice walk in the sunshine. Or you take care of yourself by eating a good, healthy meal with lots of green vegetables. Or you take care of yourself by going to the gym. Or by being with friends. Or by actually doing what your body needs. When you're able to do that, that's when, I feel like that's more self-care than sitting in front of the TV, eating a box of cookies and watching your favorite show. Not that I did that this week or anything. Again, I'm not shaming. I'm more just outlining the idea that when we love ourselves, we treat ourselves better. And it's not treat ourselves as in give us all the sugar in the world. It's treat ourselves as in give our bodies what we actually want and what will actually make us feel better. Isn't that interesting? I think it's very interesting. So, I don't know. Maybe tell me what you think about that. Maybe if you were listening to this podcast and you see me, maybe talk to me about that a little bit. Because I feel like that's not a very common way to think of self-care days. But I do think it needs to be discussed. Because I've had roommates in the past where they would take self-care days all the time. And they would do it because they felt like they needed it. But in reality, they were just hiding from what they actually had to accomplish. Taking care of yourself shouldn't just be a day thing. It should be a daily thing. Don't just do it once a week or once a month. Do it every day. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Give yourself enough work. Give yourself enough exercise. Give yourself enough goals, enough productivity during the day. Do what you think your body needs. And that will show yourself the self-love that you deserve. I once had this quote on my door when I was growing up. And it said, confidence is a gift I give myself. If I wait for others to give me the confidence I need, I may never succeed. How true that is. Like, if we wait for other people to love us, if we wait for other people to give us self-love and everything, then we're probably never going to get it. The world doesn't love you. I know that sounds so depressing. But think about it. Who in the world takes care of you like all the time? When you're alone and you feel super alone, is anyone else aware of you? No. Remember, I'm a God-loving woman and God is always there for you. He is the person who loves you more than anything. But when you talk about normal people, I don't think it's possible for us to love each other all the time. We can try, but it's a very human trait to naturally be a little selfish. We need to take care of ourselves because if we don't take care of ourselves, who's going to take care of us? Again, I don't mean to say that the world is a horrible place. It's not. But it's just that idea that we need to take initiative of our own life because no one else is going to take initiative of it. And if they start taking initiative of it, chances are they're going to abuse it. But you are special enough, powerful enough, and strong enough to find that power within you to love yourself and to find ways to show that you love yourself. All right, well, that was a fun little tidbit, huh? I really do love loving myself. I've been to therapy a million times, and throughout this whole podcast, not just this episode, but future episodes, you'll probably hear me refer to therapy a lot because I did a lot of learning in there. And loving myself, appreciating myself, showing myself care, it did more for me than anything else could have. Just remember that. Loving yourself is so important, and I want you to start loving yourself. Now, loving myself didn't happen in a blink of an eye, which is why, guys, listen to this. That's right. What do you hear? You hear electricity. Woo! Because we have a new Power Spark. Power Spark is basically a goal that I'm going to give you to work on next week. It's an action word. That's why it's called a Power Spark, because when you just spark a match, you can light up a fire, right? And to find the power within you, we're going to Power Spark it. We're going to see how that works next week, but for now, it's called the Power Spark. So, the Power Spark. So this week for the Power Spark, I want you to take every single day when you get dressed, look in the mirror and say 5 good things about you. This could be as simple as your hair looks good today, or I'm happy you slept well last night, all the way up to you're an amazing person and I'm so grateful to be with you. It doesn't matter, but I want you to say 5 things in the mirror after you're dressed of things that you love about yourself. 5 things you love about yourself every day this week. And then tell me how it goes. I'm going to do it, and it's going to be good. All right. Well, now unlocking next time's power. Next week, we're going to be unlocking the power of compassion. You know, we tend to have a lot of compassion for others, but do we have compassion for ourselves? And what does compassion actually mean when we dive into it? How can we help others feel forgiven? Or how can we truly understand what other people are going through? Compassion is the root of it. And I believe that the more compassion we have, the more self-love we'll have too. So it kind of ties in a little bit, but I thought it'd be good to talk about. Anyways, that's all. Trust God. Trust others, and most importantly, trust yourself. I love you all so much, and I'm so grateful you listened to this whole podcast. It really does mean a lot to me. Don't be afraid to Instagram me, DM me. Again, it's My Life, My Way 17. And yeah, see you on Instagram, see you on the flip side, or see you in real life, I guess, if you know what I look like. Okay, bye guys.